Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Saturday, May 20th, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 5 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when it comes to the spirit animal, we are working with the lamb energy. And with the lamb energy, the lamb is bringing me to the importance of surrendering today. The day does add up and reduce to number 5 vibration. And the number 5 is a very stimulating energy. The number 5 is an energy that needs constant stimulation. And from the need for constant stimulation, this is where we could find ourselves busy doing a whole lot of nothing. You know, so busy to the point that nothing gets done. And, you know, the day is ended. We feel exhausted and even a few people disappointed in the process because maybe we overpromise and under-deliver, you know, in the excitement of the moment. Because for me, May just feels so darn busy. Like it just feels, and May is the 5th month. You know what I mean? So the number 5 is amplified today because May is the 5th month. And the energies in the day adds up and reduces to number 5 vibration. So it's like a lot of stimulation. So the lamb energy is saying surrender. And also too with the lamb energy saying surrender, to me I think about, you know, how we don't have all the answers. And I think about how the number 5 energy is a telepathic energy. This is where we feel, you know, this is where sometimes silence can feel loud. And some people who are strongly associated with the number 5 vibration tend to always have background noise or something going in the background to kind of fill up the emptiness of the silence. And a lot of the times, you know, a lot of us fear the silence because we're afraid of what we might hear because we've been conditioned to fear the silence. And as I'm saying this to you, what I'm imagining is, you know, those who through movies and marketing and even religion in certain cases, those who make us fear the silence, make us fear the silence for a reason, because it's like within the silence is like a doorway. And, you know, it's like a doorway. It's like some kind of a, you know, it's entering into another realm. It's more answers. I think about how, you know, there was witch hunting to, you know, make you not trust certain people who are able to remind you that you have the ability to tap into certain things, because it's like, I don't need you to be speaking to anybody else so that you could wake up or remember, you know, that you're really free, that you could, so you could wake up and remember that you're actually powerful. So it's like when I think about, say, you know, us fearing certain things, fearing being crazy, you know, fearing being crazy and fearing that others will think we're crazy for a certain experience that we have. I think about how smart and genius it is for whoever, you know, though, you know, whoever in charge who, you know, try to make us feel that way. Because I think about how a person could be a prisoner. And I think about, let me give, so this is what's in my mind. My mind's coming up with a whole story. So I think about a person that might be trafficked. They're taken from somewhere else and they were brainwashed and abused mentally and maybe even physically, but mainly mental abuse. And they were conditioned not to speak to anyone. And when they saw people, you know, they were conditioned to fear people because the person who did this know that, someone would tell them that, hey, what's happening is wrong. There's more to life than, what you're experiencing, and you have power and there's things you can do. So I think about us being, the people who, has been brainwashed, the person who has been brainwashed, and there's a lot happening around us, but it's not physically in front of us how we've been conditioned to see and perceive things, but we can sense it, we can feel it, but we've been conditioned to fear it. And I just think, wow, like well thought out, and how much it works, because most of us are afraid what we hear or what we perceive from ourselves, and just don't trust it because it comes from within us. And the card that we're dealing with today is the Seven of Wands in the upright position. The number 7 is an introspective energy. It's where we go inside of ourselves to find truth. We go inside of ourselves to make sense of things, where it's natural for us to search online and ask people, questions or whatever about ourselves, try to understand ourselves or understand certain things deeper. But this is where we find that no matter how many readings you get, or no matter how much you search, like the information you need is just not hitting. And it's not hitting because you got to surrender. You got to go inside of yourself. And to me, for the first time, I'm seeing this card different, because the Wands energy is a fiery, it's aggressive energy, and this person is defending themselves against this wand. So I think about a person defending, what's trying to defend their spiritual views and beliefs against like the people in their lives or the people around them. And for me personally, like once I became confident about what I believe and my experiences, there was no need to debate it or speak about it with others, because I'm coming from a place of personal experiences, in the sense that the more you're open to your premonitions and your spirit guides, they will give you like little things to do, little things that might be a situation where you're told to, say someone shared their experience with me recently on Patreon, where they woke up early. And for whatever reason, they went to work early, and they went, within their work area, they went to check out the equipment to make sure everything was what it is. And they looked down, and their ring that they didn't even know was missing was right there. And it's like they woke up that day, and there was just a strong urge to get to work early. And instead of sitting in the car, and say for me, I might sit in the car, watch YouTube or listen to music, or, edit some videos or do something, instead, like you're called to get up and start your work early, only for that person's jewelry to be right there that they didn't even know was missing. And to me, that's just not a coincidence. Like, to me, it's little teeny things like that. And for me, I make big deal out of little teeny things like that when they happen, because it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, where you ask for certain things and then boom, that's the same where you're guided. But I feel like the creator, the spirit guides, they have to start with little things like that to let you know it's real. So with the number 5, the day adding up and reducing to the number 5 vibration, is a telepathic energy. So with the card coming up, the 7 of Wands, like there's no need to defend what's within outside of yourself. It's best to just keep it to yourself. And if someone disagrees, it's like, I see how you could think that. Them disagreeing is just, they have a right to. And that's their own personal experience that, they're having on the inside that doesn't match yours. And that's okay, because we're all on our own journey. And when we resonate with something, we remember. So if they don't resonate, that's okay. It's not a hit or shot against you or any of that. But today is Saturday, and Saturday is ruled by Saturn energy. And with Saturn energy, to me, time is always a factor. But with the number 5 energy strongly amplified within the day, I feel like time might feel like it's moving too fast. But Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces is a dreamy type of energy. And Saturn brings in restriction or structure when it comes to our dreams. So Saturn energy helps us to materialize and manifest our dreams. So when I think of Saturn energy, and Saturn ruling over the day and Saturn energy and Pisces, it brings me to say how that saying, a dream is a blueprint to reality, where Saturn is time and reflects the physical tangible reality, and Pisces is the dream, it's the back end. So it's important to work those two energies together. Like the person that I just mentioned who felt the urge. It's like that person felt like something was moving them and they went with it. And that's exactly how it feels for me. Like I'll just feel a pull or a push and I'll just respect it. It's almost like I'm jello and intuitively I get the need or feel to do something and I flow with it. And the minute I feel a push, resistance, I just stop. Or if I feel pull, I go with it. And magic always happens. The day is the 20th, and the number 2 is a very intuitive energy. So the number 5 hear things. The number 2, today's the 20th, so 0 next to the 2 amplifies the energy. So the number 2 feels things on a deep level, and Mars enters into Leo today. So with Mars and Leo, we're motivated by that inner child energy, and the inner child energy is that creative energy. So this is where our imagination comes together and helps us to put pictures towards what it is that we're feeling or sensing or hearing within realms. And also too, with Mars entering into Leo, I could see how, in a month like May, where May already has that firecracker vibe to it, and Mars is the warrior, it's the soldier, and it's going into a fire sign energy like Leo. And Leo is all about the smoke and wants all the smoke because Leo is a courageous type of energy, a beastly type of energy. So with Mars entering into Leo, I could see how there could easily be situations like, say, while Mars is in Leo, where, sometimes in certain situations, conflict could pop off because of egos, big egos, and things moving so fast and people not thinking things through to realize the consequences of drowning in one's ego is what I get when I think about that energy. When it comes to say today, though, today is a day for surrender. Today's a day for surrender on a whole. To me, today has a telepathic magic aspect to it. Of course, the moon, though, is in Gemini. So the moon is in a place where we want to be social. So like the day adds up and reduces to number 5, and the number 5 energy is a social energy, because the number 5 energy could come off as life of the party, because the number 5 is a communicative energy. The number 5 is like a salesy type of energy. And when I think about sales, I think of like someone being able to connect with people on an emotional level, or even storytelling to make people feel seen or relevant. And the number 5 is all about that. The number 5 is good at that. And the moon in Gemini, the inner world, is in a place where it's curious about others and it wants to get to know others. It wants to connect, especially others within like the local community or social media community, or siblings or old friends that you used to know in middle school, elementary school. That Gemini energy is very curious about that. But today is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is squaring the moon in Gemini. So with Saturn squaring the moon in Gemini, it's like Saturn is creating restrictions, and the inner world doesn't want to be restricted. It just wants to go out and socialize, mingle. Our inner world is in a mingling energy, especially with the day adding up and reducing to the number 5 and Mars moving into Leo. We might feel a little bit more confident than normal. So those are some things, influencing the day. And Saturn also ruling the day, positively aspecting Mercury, the mind, in Taurus. So, the mind is in a place where it's, reflecting on luxury and stability and traditions, things that are familiar. And it's positively aspecting Saturn and Pisces. So, this is where our mind, reflecting on stability, comfort, and positively aspecting the structures of our dreams. But yeah, when it comes to say the energies in today, overall, I just get the importance of there's no need to defend what's on the inside. So say you socialize, you connect with family, and others or siblings, you know, if you feel the need to share certain things, share, but there's no need to defend your views, your beliefs, because to defend it, it's like you yourself isn't confident enough to believe what it is that you believe. So it's almost like wanting to force someone else to, you know, be your company when it comes to your belief. So if ever you find yourself in that position, just remind yourself that, like, if you're trying to convince or debate others to see things the way you do, more than likely it's because you yourself, you know, is not as confident about your beliefs the way you think you are. Of course, there's a different situation when it's like life, death, and you know, stuff like that, but that's not what we're talking about. But on an average, when we find ourselves like beefing with our family members because we're trying to show them certain things or show them that they sleep, and you're asleep, I'm awake, or I'm awake, you're asleep, blah blah blah, whatever. It's like, to me, for a person to think they're awake and arguing with someone that's asleep, clearly that's like, you know, two people that's asleep. And I personally believe that for us all to be here together, some of us are awake about certain things and some of us are asleep about certain things. And for me personally, like, I often fall asleep and wake up when it comes to certain things, or I'll keep waking up when it comes to certain things. And as I keep waking up, I realize that there's layers and layers and layers and layers to it. And till my last day, there'll always be layers and layers and layers and layers to it all. So to me, it's like there's never a point where it's like, oh, I'm just so awake and there's no more awakening to do because I've arrived. Like, I just don't see it that way, but like, to each his own. Such a pleasure sharing this message with you as usual. If you'd like to book a reading with me or check out my weekly exclusive content only on Patreon, the links for that is in the description box below. Please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a blue heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.